All right, let's take a quick look at how to set defaults on some of our transitional effects. I'm going to go down here to the effects panel, and mine is set up in my own personal workspace. I have mine set up as Dempsey, and I have a thing that I would normally, like the way that I like the layout to look. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to editing just so you can see. This is probably going to look a little bit more like what you will be using. But either way, I'm going to go to effects. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go, in this case, I'm just going to look at the audio transitions. I'm going to go to audio transitions. I'm going to go to crossfade. And you see right here that constant power has a blue check mark around, or a blue box around it. That is telling me that constant power is my default transition. That means when I go and click on the end of a clip, right, for example, if I click right here on the end of this clip, when I hit Command-Shift-D, in order to work with the audio transition, Command-Shift-D, it added a transition right there for me, and you can see it, and that is the default transition. So what is it? In this case, again, it's constant power. I don't want it to be constant power. Constant power is okay. It's really good for blending two clips together. But let's just say I want to default to having fades so that it fades up at the beginning and it'll fade out at the end. To change that, to make exponential fade my default, I'm simply going to right click and I'm going to set selected as default transition. And when I right click on that, the blue box is going to move here to exponential fade. And now when I go to apply that, it is going to put an exponential fade on the beginning of that clip. And again, to do the audio default transition, it's Command-Shift-D on the keyboard. So I'm clicked right there, Command-Shift-D, it is now going to fade up. So if I zoom in on that, you can see that it has an exponential fade. There's no sound really right there at the beginning of that, so I'm not overly concerned. But you'll also notice that I can actually come here and I can drag that over so that that fade is now the length I want it to be. I had them set to default to 2 seconds, but you can set it to whatever works for you. 2 seconds is a good place to start, I will say that. And then you can always adjust accordingly. That is going to be the same thing if you want to adjust the video transition or the default video transition. You can make it any of them. But as you can see under dissolve, it is cross dissolve is your default transition. If I were to click here and hit Command D, it added a cross dissolve to my video. And this is what the cross dissolve is going to look like. Right, it's just going to fade up because there's nothing else there. It's just going to dissolve from black to video. I could also come and put a dip to white, or if I drag that on there, then hit play, it's going to start as white. And it's just really weird. It doesn't work in this case. Honestly, I think the dip to white usually only works if you do it really fast, like a couple of frames. Use it almost like a flash from a camera. But if I wanted any of these other transitions to be my default, like for example, if I were to do, let's just say slide, I want it to center split. I'm gonna drag that on there just to see what it looks like. Say that's what I wanted my transition to be on everything. Then all I have to do is right click and set that as the default transition. Whoop. And now when I click here and click Command D, it is going to add that center split, which is horrible. All right, obviously I don't want to use that. I'm just showing you that you can set the default to be whatever you want it to be. And that's as simple as right clicking and clicking set selected. So hope this has helped. Let me know if you have any questions.